It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association, and I co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers that is sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care, and as part of that organization, that team last year was able to reach out to over 100,000 fathers directly and indirectly worldwide. And as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And I'm in a good mood. I'm just laughing at my mistake. Like there was a time where I didn't laugh at my mistakes. I get so tensed up, but I love it. You know, it's a human thing. You don't make mistakes, you learn. So there we go. So it's the first Tuesday of the month. And most first Tuesdays of the month, I'm blessed to be in the presence of this young gentleman, Sid McNairy. We chop it up. We chat about things. And Sid, do you make mistakes?
No, never, man.
Why did I know that was going to happen?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I don't have any mistakes. They're just, well, I'll say this. They're like, if we were shooting a movie and I had a mistake and I just take it again. So just like you did, I just keep moving.
Yeah, you just keep on moving. You keep on, like there's an old song, I'm going retro now, by Soul to Soul called Keep On Moving, Don't Stop. You know the song, you know the tune, but yeah, my man. So what's been going on in the world of Sid? Well, I guess some people on this plot, well, not even that, because you were on with a group of people a few weeks ago on this platform, not just a once a month thing. So tell us what's been going on.
Well, today I had this amazing meeting. I've been gestating a way to work with Indigenous people, and today I was invited into a meeting represented by like 6, 7, maybe more than that tribes around from through all of North America. So a couple in Canada, some down in the US, and just to be accepted, because you know, like it doesn't matter how much you got native blood, they're gonna look at and make sure that you are walking with spirit before they say, hey, you're cool. And so it was just awesome to have that meeting, and it's a group that's working with solar, putting solar onto the reserves and the reservations, and it was just incredible to meet with them and feel spirit, you know, in that moment, and humbled by the space to be with them. And we're going to do a whole magazine on people from the Native American people all over, and yeah, so I'm just excited to see where it goes. So they're gonna fly me out to Montana and
nice
and yeah. I mean, it just, you know, it's just it's interesting because I prayed this morning. I was like, and I've been sitting with, and I said to Liz, like, all right, I need spirit to give me a sign. Where does he want me to go? And
take off my shirt here.
Today felt like, oh, here's the sign, and I'm excited to see all things come forward. Especially, you know, I wrote this movie, and it's about Native American people and elevating that space. And so, who knows how it's going to work out? It's just going to work out.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And also, just recently, you had a online summit about the aspect of peace.
Yeah, we sure did. The Peace Summit, and you know, the art of peaceful living, and it'll happen again in October. So really, we'll do it 4 times a year, and that was huge, because it was, you know, just to see so many people come away with all the things that were said at the end. Was humbling there too. Like I just been getting humbled. I haven't asked for
it looks good on you, brother. It looks great on you and Liz.
Yeah, so it was to have so many people just say what was happening for them, and to see people finding peace, and you know, there's a guy that 2 years has been looking for a job, and after coming away from that, he just had an interview. I'm pretty sure he'll get offered the job, and
Nice.
so just tremendous to watch people step into peace and see how peace can just open doors that we often don't even know are available. So it's pretty incredible.
We'll eventually get into our topic tonight, folks, but this is the way Sid and I roll. Like when we find we're just on the highway together, when we get in the car, we just drive. And I'm almost envisioning one day I would love to be in a car with Sid and we just drive and talk. The top is down and we just drive and chat, and maybe we can get someone to video it. I think that'd be very, very cool.
Yeah, that would be.
What?
I'm driving.
Of course. I ain't fighting you for that wheel, my brother. Yeah, look, I know my place. I want to ride. It just came into my heart. The word transformation. I know it means a lot. I think it means a lot to you. I don't want to make assumption, but I continuously, and I'm not trying to big you up here, but hearing how you and Liz are transforming people's lives for the better. It's amazing.
Well, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. And it's happening so much now that it's almost breathtaking, and almost, and to an extent, I often sit with, all right, well, how do I really do this? You know, in the sense of, all right, transforming someone's life, or transforming even a moment. Like, to change a life means that there's something broken, and you know, and you got to fix it. Like change a tire on a car, you got to go get a different tire. You got to actually do something. For me, transforming life is transformation is to transform something in action, you know, so to see it shift and just move into a higher place without it necessarily being something that's broken. So when I look at transformation and I think of people transforming from disease, you know, disease, from dis-ease to ease in their body that ultimately looks like healing, like to see somebody go from feeling broken and not having a job for 2 years to, all right, let's talk about this. Let's transform the way someone is relating to it and watch them get a job. Like I've seen that so often for people. And so when I look at what's taking place is we're giving people a new operating system. You know, I heard Michael Beckwith, who I go listen to because I think he's been a transformation agent for a long time. And he was speaking about this current state of things where people are like, hey, money's disappearing and stocks are going down and everybody's struggling. And he's like, the last time I spoke to the aliens, they said they didn't have the money. They didn't take the money off the planet. The money's still on the planet. So the transformation of that is abundance is always here. Money is always here. To actually act like it's not is someone trying to play with things to make people think that's that way so that they can move where they want it and shift it. I call no, not part of my reality. I actually wanted to drop a couple bombs in there with that. Yet, this is why I just went with the no. Like they had in Get Out, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole, because for me, it's always here. The most money I've ever made in my life was in 2008 when they said there was a crash. Like, and what I keep looking at with that is like, I went into donation based at that time. Like I really just said, you know what, we're going to be donation based and let people come pay for yoga the way it fits for them. And it was easy. Like people were going on vacation because they were coming in, they were on vacation from their mind. And then all of a sudden they weren't they were no longer in that deficit mentality. And so, yeah, when I look at transformation, it's transforming something into action that, for me, that's going from somewhere lower and transforming and taking off.
Ayana says, no, 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 no. And I can see Ayana saying, also with the finger, no, no, no.
Right.
And you know something, Ayana? I have to get you on this platform. You know what? I'm going to work on that. So, as a famous pastor, and I'm not going to give their name, would say, get ready, get ready, get ready, Ayana. So I'm winding you down to get you on here, Ayana. I'm winding you down because I know she has the right heart, the right intent to help so many individuals. So we could go down that highway, but we want to chat about a very important conversation topic today: healing from racism and slavery as a people. And I think this is such a important and also personal topic for Sid, myself, Sid especially, coming from so many different cultural backgrounds. I think this is a very important conversation. So, Sid, why did you want to land on this conversation topic today?
Well, one, I feel we will continue to repeat the past when we're trying to change the past, because trying to change the past looks like I have to go talk about it and shift it, when you can't change it. Last time I checked, the past is done. It's gone. Now I can get the lessons from the past, and in that sense, I can move forward. When I look at creation, all right, let's say it doesn't matter how the earth got here, because I have a different vantage point or different view than most people go with. But we'll just say that magically something said, we're going to mix it up and make earth from nothing. Well, first comes the thought. Like, there has to be a consciousness that says, boom, we're going to mix from nothing and make this next thing. Everything that we see right now is thought. Like the things going across the screen at the bottom, Art of Peaceful Living, website, all that stuff. It's only there because it came from the thought. You created the thought to put it into the computer. Without you doing that, right now, I'm pretty sure that you have no way of putting something on the screen without thinking about it. So everything that comes up in our life comes from a thought. So I'm done playing with the idea of slavery and racism, because the more I play with that idea, the more it continues to come forward in my life. So I'm done with that. I'm done playing with the fight against this, the fight against that, because that creates that thing. So when I just wanted to have this conversation so we can begin to speak into existence what we truly want coming forward. And and so the other thing I'd say with that is, because people are still in the repetitiveness of that concept and stuck in there in so many people's lives, that they are bringing it forward. And in the world today, there are 41 million people still in slavery. That's existing right now. Now, I'm not, you're not. Even if, we could look at different ways where we could say somebody's in control of everything. Last time I checked, I get to go outside and choose how I'm going to do this day. And that is a lot of people in the world. So with that being said, then I'm going to pick how I'm going to do this. I'm going to create the thoughts. I'm going to be so disciplined that I say, this is how I'm going to move forward. And I want people to start to get that, especially people that are stuck. First of all, they're not stuck. I'm not sure how many people are sitting around with cement on their feet and can't move at all. So that idea of being stuck is truly in their head. And that is an opportunity to make a big shift. And hopefully anyone that sees this, even if they just saw that little part, already starts to make a shift in their own mind that creates a new reality.
I'm going to ask you if you can just move over a bit, because the light is blocking. Yeah, there we go. We gotta have two shine heads together, man. Can't have a shine head and a half moon together. We gotta be full moons together, you know?
Right
Thank
on.
you so much. I want to revert back. Younger, growing up, because of your cultural background, was racism and slavery a challenge, a hindrance for you at a time?
Uh, well, the hindrance was a little different than I would say a lot of people that I knew or that I know. And it was different because my parents, Liz is taking care of me right now.
Yeah, I know. She got you. She got you.
And so, was it a hindrance? The hindrance for me was different than most. And I'll say it was just a different looking. Like I have within me primarily white genetics, plantation owners. I have within me African, Egyptian bloodlines. I have Indonesian. I have Native American. I'm just mixed up in here, and I love that. Like now, it took a long time to get to that place. Like the first time I really felt like, whoa, these are people that look like me was when I took my children to a powwow. And I looked around
Mm.
and I said, oh, finally, like these people, their kids look like my kids. And I look like a lot of these people. Now, my head's shaved, so that part was different. Yet, uh, it was just so amazing to see that and feel at home. And then after doing some research, and someone recently sent me an article on how Native Americans had slaves too. Like slavery ain't some new concept. It's
No.
actually it's old. It's older than when we chose to break down mongoloids and caucasoids. Like it's older than that. Slavery's a really a uh, section of people with status or not,
Uh-huh.
enslaving people because they were rich or poor. The poor had to work for the rich. And so when I started to look for the truth, seeking the truth set me free of all of that, to be able to love. Because it's like, nah, it didn't just happen to the black side of me. It happened to everybody at some
Uh-huh.
point in time. The people that fled to the United States of America, they fled because it wasn't rosy yet in England, in Europe. They said, let me get out of here. Let me find. And then the crazy thing is, instead of being different, they came over and started the same thing because they had the power to do so. The guns, the
Right.
Gatling gun, and all that crap. Like that's where I see it. And so right now, we can repeat the past, or we can start to make something new and better. And that's what I want to see for us all. Like to wake up and do something better for the next 7 generations to come.
How important does you talk about your grandparents a lot, your heritage a lot? How important has this made, have they, that family, that environment helped you when it comes to this subject or these subjects of racism and slavery?
Well, I mean, knowing my lineage, I have on my dad's side, plantation owner, the Hazlets, that side of my lineage. The guy, my great 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 grandfather went to buy slaves, and when he went across the Mississippi River in Arkansas, he went to buy slaves, and they were dark complected Native American people that were Blackfoot Indian. And he landed there and went to, he said to the person, he said, that lady right there, and gave a price, whatever it was. And he said, no, that's my wife. And
Mm.
yeah, that's my wife from other lifetimes. And so he bought her and other people from the tribe and freed them all on his land. Whoever was the lightest skinned kid pretended to be the owner of everything so that everyone could continue to live free. So when I heard that story, it was like, oh, wait a minute. Can't hate that dude, because that dude set my space inside of me free. Like that. So I see that often. Now, if you're acting strange today and in the way that you're just acting strange. And we're going to get to that at another point in time. It ain't going to be because of your race. That's just either you're acting in a way that I want to be with, or you're not, and so that's where it is for me. I look for people who are moving in the direction that I want to move. If you don't know how to get to peace, we might have a conversation, yet as Gandhi said, I'm aggressive about my peace if you shake it up too much.
That's true.
A hornet's nest is calm until somebody goes and screws with the hornet's nest. Now, fortunately for me, I've been able to keep peace for a while. Now, don't come acting like Sid won't get warrior on you, because let's not do that dance. We all get a choice. And so, yeah, I just choose peace, and it's working out. And when I think about this conversation, I had to go through a lot of different things in life. I went through racism on so many different levels, from white on black, black on black, when I coached at a primarily black university, to people of Native Americans being mean to other people and hustling people because they were hustled. I've seen a lot in this world that I choose just to be different, and I'm not upset with those people that moved from that place, because that's what they knew in the time. Now, can I teach something different? Can I be something different, so that when we all come together, it's like, all right, well, that makes a heck of a lot of sense. That feels right. I'm gonna shift my way of being. My dad, the guy that gave me my first job, when we first moved in to the neighborhood, he was as racist as all get out goes. And then all of a sudden he shifted, became one of my dad's best friends. He gave me my first job.
Wow.
So I appreciated Don. Don was a guy that, and then I ran into another Don who was black and racist for the stuff that I had gone through in a different way. So yeah, man, ignorance is ignorance. And it just really stands to, most people have no clue when they're being ignorant. It's rare that someone really has a clue that's being ignorant that can't be transformed.
Wow. Did you, I think you shared a little bit at this high level, how much racism did you have to deal with as a younger man? Did you have to deal with a lot? And it sounds like you were able to handle it. What tools did you get from a younger age to deal with the racism?
Or earlier, like when we lived in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as much as later when I got older and started seeing like Roots and different movies and things of that nature, seeing the civil rights movement, I never even thought about race in that part of Louisiana. Then we moved for a short stint in California. I was really tiny then, though. So, I was held by Clint Eastwood on his movie set. So it didn't happen to me. And the pictures I look back at weren't like that. But then all of a sudden we moved to the nation's capital and it started getting racist. Like first it was against my accent, being from the South. Then all of a sudden it was people calling me nigger. And it was like, hold up. But now I was raised in this way. Son, you don't fight. You don't start fights. Unless someone makes fun of your mom or calls you a nigger, then I expect you to handle it. So for me, that I was more concerned with, if I didn't handle it, than dealing with somebody that could use a word. So that led to a lot of moments for me to handle it, for lack of another way to say it, even with police officers. Like it wasn't, you didn't just come up to Sid and say, "Hey, I'm gonna treat you this way, boy." Well, you might have got cracked. I know a couple cops that got black eyes on that nature, and I just happen to be fast. It was, yeah, man. I just have to be real fast. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Now, what I'll say though is, as I got older, that anger in me that persisted from watching things, I'm gonna just let it out all out here tonight. So when there were two movies that hit me at about the same time, Roots and Back to the Future. I was young.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting. I'm looking to hearing this. Okay.
So when that night, I mean, it was like, I can't remember which one I watched first, but when I finally saw both of them, I started having dreams of going back to the future with machine guns and taking out people that were just ignorant. Like that's the way it was for me. So what shows up in my psyche is like, nah, I don't play that. And I'm going to go to a higher source and say, handle this. And that means handle it. Like I pray a lot, and I spend a lot of time with God. So I feel I can call a lot of things forward. And if something is off, I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray and say, hey, either bring them home or shift them here. Start it over. Because it's like at one point I was asked to come to South Africa to help with racism. So they broke it down on how racism started. And he said, and the reason why we want you to come is because you're mixed. And because then people will listen to you on both sides, because neither side is really getting it. So in their thought process, God was residing in the middle of earth at the time. And God was trying to send people to the surface of the earth. And on the way to try to send people to the surface of the earth, at first he tried creating a lighter skinned human being, like almost see-through, burn up, come out to the surface, burn up, keep going until they got to the first man that was able to survive, a darker complected person. So that person came, and God said, okay, that's how we'll do it. We'll send a couple of them up, Adam and Eve, darker complected. Look where they're from. So now all of a sudden they start making offspring, but they have the DNA of everything in them that God was trying to put on earth. So then eventually this light skin, we may call it an albino, but a light skinned person came in through the DNA. That tribe shunned them because they couldn't understand it, right? Their minds were, we only see what we see. And now here comes something new and we don't know what to do with it. So they shunned that person. But that tribal person came back to the chief. And as it was talking to the chief, the medicine man, and it was like, why are they exiling me? And what he said was, go and pray to your father. Ask him to take care of you. Prayed, another person, kick them out. Now they're still praying. So fast forward to where we are now, where these people have now become the leaders because they prayed, they stayed connected, asking for help. God's still answering. So now look who's praying. Look who's spending, at least I just look at myself. I am definitely more spiritual than most people I know. Now, why did that come? Because there were a lot of things happening in my life that I needed to pray for to move through. So we can keep going with that. And the next thing you know, the people that are more spiritually connected are going to be the ones that connect and get their prayers answered. So now that would cycle the same thing over in a different way. So I choose to be different. I choose to teach people how everybody can be more prayerful and how everybody can actually learn the laws, the universal laws that are really there for everybody, for us all to come into a place of love. And in this life, I can leave it in a way that says all the people in the future for the duration of Earth will know how to be at peace with one another. That's what I want to see. Let science do science. And eventually people will probably start looking beige. It might not be in our lifetime, but most people are going to look beige. Now, there's a couple crazy things that have happened that I've seen. They have actually shown that people with melanin in your skin, just like the chlorophyll in plants, actually produces oxygen. It produces oxygen. So now all of a sudden, everyone is evolving into what's going to need to be in case we do something crazy with the earth. So I just think way outside of the box. I don't even think it's thinking. I just spend time with something way outside of the box. And if someone picks up on something that I'm sharing, awesome. Especially if it moves us all forward, because it's time. Like, we got 35 billion acres of land on the earth. How about that? 35 billion acres of land. There's 7 billion people. That's 5 acres of land per person. Unless somebody taught me the wrong math in school, that's 5 acres of land per person. So why do we have people without houses?
Well, it's interesting, and you're reading my alleged mind a little bit. I was going to ask you a little bit earlier on in our conversation. There, you said a fact there's approximately 40 million people who are in slavery around the world. How does that make you feel hearing that fact?
Man, we got a lot of work to do. And I still keep peace because peace is in me. Like, hey, that's part of what's here. That's part of what's been created. Now, all the people that want to fight against it are going to help build it. Unless we come into a place that says, like Dr. Emoto did a study on water, where you give something negativity, it still grows. It just looks really murky. You give something positivity, it still grows. It looks more, you can go do the research on Dr. Emoto. It looks more like snowflake crystals. You give something nothing, it disappears. We got to stop loving these things we don't want to be around.
How do we do that?
Well, first we have to realize we have to actually come into a place of a deeper knowing of what love is. Love is everything. Not God, but love is everything. God is the creator of love. I really don't even like to use that word God, because 2.4 billion people have chosen that word as their way of owning what that is. Yet it's the creator, it's the source, it's the thing that started it all. When there was nothing, there was something that triggered it. Now, in that sense, it's like, okay, here's this nothing that in my mind, that's God. Nothing. It created it all. From nothing, it birthed everything around it. So now, in that sense, we got to get back to nothing so we can create something new that's going to look different than holding on to the past. If you got clear water and you bring some blue dye and you put it in, every time you make more water out of that water, it has blue dye. If I want to have water with nothing that's clear again, I got to go get something totally different. And that's what I see. I really don't have a feeling around that concept of, or that awareness of 41 million people in slavery. Do I feel it can be different? Sure. How can I do that? I make sure that I'm somebody supporting something different when I'm aware of it. There's and should the creator want me to be the one to eradicate it, then they're going to bring something to me that's going to help me do that.
Conversation point for you. Do you know people who you feel are, quote, in slavery, unquote?
Man, the whole human race, pretty much. I mean, I ask you this, like, how many people can sell all their stuff and just hit the road? Everybody can, but how many people sit and say, I hate my job and still go to that job? How many people say, I hate my life, you know, where I'm living, with who I'm with, and still keep doing it? Man, if slavery ain't much different than that, in my eyes. You're doing something that makes you miserable. So, yeah, I don't know too many free people.
Mm.
And to me, when I look at, you've got slavery, which, what's the benefit of slavery? Production.
Economic.
Yeah. And so what's the opposite of slavery? Freedom. What's the weakness of freedom? Chaos. Too much freedom brings chaos, possibly. So there's this balancing act of learning how to be free and economical at the same time. Learning to play with that, because love is everything. So if I get too economical, I start to create slavery. If I get too free, I start to create chaos. Everything has its opposite kind of opposite pull to negativity, and everything has its polar opposite of positivity. I choose to play in that positive spectrum that moves me from peace. Opposite of peace is anger, but the power of peace or power of anger, the strength, is passion. I choose to move from passion and peace. Too much peace can look really weak. Then I might get passionate. You try to push me in that victim space of being weak, I'm gonna get passionate about keeping my peace. You know, so it's learning to move in that balanced place. And there's a little more to explain in that space, but that's how that really works for me.
So would it be right to say that you've probably, by what you've just shared with us, there's more than 41 million people around the world that are in slavery?
Heck yeah. Like there's 1% that may be, the full 1% that are running the money, they ain't even all out of it. They're slaves to the money. A lot of them are slaves to the money. What if you said to the, you mean you could just go, you could probably go do a documentary on just talking to people about what if you had to get rid of all your money? They'd be like, man, show over. We ain't even talking about that. Now, maybe they wouldn't talk about it because they actually get the laws, you know, the laws that govern it all. Yet that's how I see it. Like, how many people actually could be free with nothing?
And Sid did mention about how many people can just sell everything and be on their way. You have history doing that, don't you?
Yeah, we sure did. You know, it was like, it was time to go. I felt those shackles, those energetic shackles holding me back to my yoga studio, to pains in my body from the concepts and things that felt destructive in my life where we were living, to saying, okay, I'm out. And it took me a little while to convince Liz that we could do it that way. And then when we did it, man, it was so freeing to think, okay, all I got is a cell phone bill. We got one car note and insurance, and the rest of it is ours. Like that was freedom. That was true freedom. To like, here I am, and now I'm back in this place. Got to pay it. That's not really free. You know, I linked myself back in. The thing that keeps me free is at any point I can say, peace out, I'm out. That's it. Where are you going to find me? I'm not sure. Like when it's time, I'll just say, hey, holler, I'm gone. freedom. That's real freedom right there. Like I was watching this movie. There's this movie that people should check out. It's I think it's called The Gambler. And
is that Kenny Rogers?
no. You're thinking
That's
old school.
old school. Okay, yeah, okay, all right.
Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
At one point, now you watch the first 2 minutes, you might feel, if you're like me, you in 2 minutes, and I don't get it. I watch movies, and in 2 minutes, I was so enthralled that I was ready to puke. I was like, this dude is about to go deeper in this hole, and he did. And then so he has to go through this whole deal, and there's this one part that many people would likely miss in the movie, so I'm gonna share it, where the person that the bookie he's got to pay back and get the money to says to him, when you really want to be free, because he's ready to kill him. He's gonna kill him.
Right.
And he says, when you're ready to be free, you'll be able to tell me and everybody else, F you. That's where I'm at. Like 100%. Like, don't come to me trying to tell me I got to take a vaccine. That's not freedom. No, if I don't want to, I'm not gonna do it. End of story. I will stay in this house. You won't find me. I will be here. I'm gonna live the way I'm gonna live. And that's a God-given choice. Like, there might be consequences, but I'm willing to live in those consequences. I'm willing to say, no, ain't gonna be no slavery on Sid's watch. Not in my house. You know, now I might have to leave the earth, but I'm still gonna be free. I'm gonna be free. You know, so that's kind of how it shows up for me. Like, to actually sit there and think, oh, I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna fight you over this. That's not freedom. That's somebody controlling you, making you say, oh, I gotta fight. That's control. No, freedom says, hey, got my hands up. I'm free. I'm just free.
Nice. I'm gonna parking lot our conversation around to freedom just for a second, because there are some questions here, but they involve peace. So do you want to answer them now, or do you want to answer them at the end after we complete about the racism and slavery? Where do you want?
I'm complete. We just solved that if people pick it up.
Okay. All right. So let's get to the
let's go to peace now. Now that we have no racism, let's go to peace.
Okay. So Jordan asks you, what powers the purest form of peace, and how do you most effectively share pure peace with others?
The purest form of peace. So, being that I feel 100% at peace, meaning that I'm just here. As I'm writing this book, the playbook for peace, one thing for sure, there's the opposite of peace is absolutely no peace. You're either at peace at 100% or you're not. If something can move you out of peace, you don't have peace. It's just waiting for something to take you away. So the purest form of peace is peace, real peace. It doesn't move no matter what. And the second part of that question was, how do you get there? Was that it?
I'll put it up again. And how do you most effectively share pure peace with others?
Be peace. That's it. Like, be peace in every situation. You know, like I recently, I'm not sure if my parents are going to see this. They know that.
The troller may see it.
They know that my life has been interesting, to say the least. So I'm out the other day, 2-lane road. I'm going this way. This guy on his bike gets in front of my car, and his friend is walking and another guy on a bike. So he's going as slow as somebody walking in the middle of the driving lane. So, you know how you can lay on your horn, beep, and it just keeps going, or you can just give a beep so that someone is aware that you're beeping. So I give him the beep, and now he turns around, gives me an interesting face, and then finally the walker gets in front of my car, and that guy gets over. So I'm like, all right, well, now I know I'm driving a rental car, so there's a lot of thoughts that could go through my mind. Like, I could just run these people over, be done with it, keep going, take the car back, be done with this. That one didn't hold very long, but it was a thought. It was a possibility. There's millions of possibilities of how we can handle anything. So then, right. So I'm really almost stopped. Now I'm on the phone. So fortunately for me, being on the phone and dealing with this, I could see it playing. So my thoughts are playing in my mind, and I'm not playing with those thoughts because they're there. They're just possibilities. So finally, the walker now gets out of the way. The other guy on the bike gets in the way. And eventually they're all in the bike lane. There's actually a lane for them to use, and they get in the lane. So then I'm on the phone. So when I'm driving by, I'm not really registering the fact that I'm looking and going slow. So when I get past them, because now I'm no longer at the walking pace, I'm in a car.
Mm-hmm.
Dude flips me the middle of those three fingers, right? And it says, so I look in the rear view and I'm like, really? Did this dude just do that? So my car slows down at this point, and now he reaches behind his back, pulls a gun up, and puts it in his basket in front of him. Now, there's still Sid in here. Sid has been through a lot. The same person that was willing to punch a cop and keep rolling knows that I could drive up a little bit further, turn this car around, run everybody over, and be done with this. Like, take them to the exit. Like, I really can do that. Yet, I said, nah, it ain't worth all that. And I just kept going. So, in that moment, those people could actually reflect on the fact and say, what if that person had, my windows are tinted. What if that person had a machine gun in there? Could have lost my life. Like, now, God will answer those people. Like, however you want to look at it, it isn't a matter of right or wrong, because God, I feel God doesn't look at right or wrong. Just in that moment, somebody else could pull up, and that's history. Oh, that's history. This is Florida. People rock with guns. Like, and I don't have one because I've already chosen peace before I even thought about going to get a gun, because I know that the gun says Sid needs to use the gun, and I might have just used it. So I don't have a gun. I won't have a gun, even though sometimes I'm like, dang, should I have a gun? Because these other people are getting crazy and having guns. Yet, nope, won't do it. Won't do it. But I got some sharp knives.
Okay. You're firing all cylinders today, my brother. I don't know if you've already answered this question. I'm going to put, Jordan asks, what symbol represents peace most to you?
Well, I have on my ankle, it actually goes like this. And then there's a line down the middle, a D. And so it's spelled Sid, but it looks like a peace sign. So the peace sign means a lot to me in the name of that, because it's what represents peace. The peace sign. It's on the bottom of my logo on my website. It's on the front of my car. I'm down with the peace sign. Now, I love my car too. It's got a peace sign on the front, and I didn't have to put it there. It was already there when I bought it.
Oh my goodness. Now, Jordan has another question referring back to Abe Lincoln. I don't know how much you know about Abe Lincoln. I can put his comment up. I don't know if you want to try and tackle it.
Sure.
Okay.
I like Abe Lincoln. I lived in Illinois.
Okay.
For all the pennies.
All right. So it says when Abe, which I believe he means Abe Lincoln, wrote the Emancipation Proclamation, he had just been reelected after the first term of pure bloodshed. Do you think peace was his main driver? And also, what made that form of driven peace so powerful? In that speech, he took leadership to the next level and demanded peace after he ended the Civil War and abolished slavery.
Well, I think I don't know 100%, yet I feel that Abraham Lincoln witnessed his friends. I think he loved his people, the people that he was with. Like, he just loved them, and he had peace when he was. To have love, you must first have peace. Anyone can go look at their own life, and I will say that as a truth. You can go look at your own life and think about when you didn't have peace. Was love there? Be honest with yourself. You don't have to answer it for me. I know in my life, when I didn't have peace, love wasn't really available until I got back to peace, and then some love poured in. So in that space of saying we need peace, I think Abraham Lincoln came to that conclusion that without peace, there was no love, and he loved his people, period. Loved them all. And so he wanted peace. And I think that's why he stood the way he stood at that point in his life, that he was searching for how to have love for all people that he loved. When love enters your heart, it's impossible to stand with all this other stuff. You know, when love entered my heart, and it keeps going. Like I would have been differently with somebody pulling out a gun and acting like they were going to use it. Like I was told as a kid, you don't pull out a gun, you don't pull out a knife unless you're ready to use it, because the other person has to come after you like they're going to kill you because you've already made that threat. So I just happen to have a different ammo now. Like I choose peace instead of loading up a gun.
Anderson Iana says, I've gone back and forth with deciding between gun, no gun for years.
Yeah, well, are you really walking in peace? Because if so, then the gun's got to go. Like, come on now. Like, you go over to England, and I know, like, don't hit their cops because they handle a billy club like nobody's business. You can have a billy club gonna get you before you even get the chance to pull the trigger. So, yeah, I've walked through a lot of different things, and I've never needed a gun.
And Jordan says peacemaker. Yeah,
I'm just a peace holder. I don't know if I'm a peacemaker because sometimes I can get a little amped.
So Ayana says, I'm only half certified. I stopped there, no gun.
Now I've shot some guns now. Like I went through boot camp. I shot an M16. 3 miles out, bullseye hitter. Like they wanted me to stay and be that person. Just wasn't my thing.
Well, my brother, we're going to start winding it down. Another always entertaining conversation. Like we start off, we just go along the highway and we just drive. You're driving and I'm beside you with the top down. Do you have any final comments in regards to this subject, healing from racism and slavery as a people?
Our thoughts create our reality, and choose the thoughts that are going to lead you to where you want to go. I choose to have the thoughts of peace because I want peace in my life. That song, Give Me Peace and I'll Take the Pieces. It's been easy. Once I got peace, taking the pieces that came on the way have been easier to handle. It's amazing to be with my wife, Liz, who chooses peace. And now I've watched, like, it's healed everything for me. Like, my dad and I we joke all the time now. I couldn't joke with him before. There was no peace for me. When I got peace, then we started joking. And my dad's always been, I used to be like, man, why do my friends want to stay at my house so long? I'm ready to go. And it was because my dad could make them laugh. We had fun. And the thing about it was we were all safe at home at my parents' house. We were all safe. You know, when we went out in the streets, my parents lost peace. Because it was like, damn, is our son going to make it home tonight?
Yeah.
And just choose peace. The world will be a better place. The world's a great place. The world will move in a better way when we all choose peace.
Wonderful way to end it. It all wraps around the peace. This conversation, again, is a subset of the peace that Sid, Liz, and many of his community walk in. Sid, again, I want to say thank you for taking the time to sharing, entertaining, educating, enlightening, and empowering the community here. It's appreciated, not taken for granted. And if you want to get a hold of Sid, it's been running all throughout the conversation along the bottom. So I don't need to say it. It's there, but I will say it. The Art of Peaceful Living website, artofpeacefulliving.com. On Facebook, catch him out at Sid McNairy. On Facebook, Sid McNairy. Clubhouse, The Art of Peaceful Living. I could give you more, but that should get you
Hey, you know what?
started.
He said is Jordan, go check out Lincoln, the Vampire Slayer.
Okay.
Game changer.
Okay. Wonderful. Good stuff. If you want to touch base with me, website, the drvibeshow.com, email dr at the drvibeshow, YouTube and Facebook, The Dr. Vibe Show, Twitter at drvibeshow, and on the gram, Instagram, the drvibeshow. I am on TikTok. We'll get to that eventually, but whatever. As always, we have it here. Jordan is saying, good stuff. And of course, Ayanna, thank you so much. You know I'm coming for you now to get on the platform. You put it out there that you're ready. So we want to finish off with this. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourself grace, and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. God bless, peace, well, and keep the faith.
Peace.